By congratulating Nigerians. So yesterday I learned that all ministerial nominees have been confirmed, including Alhaji Lai Mohammed being the last person that was screened. So congratulations Nigerians, all your ministerial nominees have been confirmed. Nobody that we know of was denied. Alright, even though we all know that at the end of the day everything that happened there was a family business in the sense that instead of grilling, what we were hearing is people praising themselves. Oh, it was the person who paid for my nomination ticket. He gave me money to go and campaign or to contest election in my own state in Adamawa. All of those things. And they started revealing things that people who are following with heart will already understand that this is Sakamanje at the end of the day. It's family meeting people were doing. Screening is screening, not the Sakamanje family business they were doing. You know, for instance, that somebody will come and already gave us impression before that he was not taking salary from the state post as a former governor in his own state too. Because of the state cash crunch, he was not taking salary, you know. And then only for another younger person to come and instead of grilling him doing screening, is giving me an appraisal. And while doing that, carelessly or flippantly, they review themselves. Oh, he gave me his 1 month salary then, you know, to go and contest election in my state. And whereas the Baba already told us before that he was not collecting, he denied himself the salary. He was not collecting it because the state was cash crunched, you know. At the end of the day, they are revealing themselves instead of grilling themselves. At the end of the day, people, it's a family business. And I've always asked many Nigerians who are congratulating all these ministerial nominees on Facebook that you think it's about you. It's not about you. These guys are doing their business, and you should already know that, you know. So in another 4 years, we are not expecting anything to happen. I'm not expecting anything. If anything happens and you are clapping for them, is what they are doing. Whatever they do is because it favors them also. If it is about you, they will not do it. It's about them, they will do it. And that is why they can be holding workers in their states for months and not pay, you know, and whereas they'll be giving another person money to go and contest election in his own state. What do you call that? No, it's not hypocrisy. There's a problem with this. I don't think it's a disorder in politics, but somehow all of us have problem at the end of the day, and we need to structurally adjust this country foundationally. We need to solve our problem. I can see people online: Pablo Kitchen, Marquesian, Folowo, Joshua, Plenty Water. I greet all of you on YouTube. Well, I'm so sorry to Facebook family. I'm going to share this link later on the show, later on Facebook. Facebook banned us because we were revealing one fake prophet. You know, they say we showed things that blah 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 that contradicted their community guidelines, blah 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 shit. So please, if you have access to Facebook right now, you can share this link. Let people join us live. So what are we discussing today? I just want to quickly talk about our professors, our academic system, you know, what we teach ourselves, the obsolete curriculum, the archaic academic knowledge that they are feeding our young people, and why it is so boring that new people are not interested in it anymore. You can imagine, for instance, that I sit down in Nigeria, for instance, you know, and I'm listening to a professor in Nigeria, and he's giving me, for instance, I'll make one example, and I'll show you the screenshots. Pyramid of human needs, according to Abraham Maslow. In what century? Abraham Maslow hierarchy of need. Okay, fine. Abraham Maslow hierarchy of need. They now said, okay, they now design a model called pyramid of need. 5 levels of human wants or human needs that motivate people. Okay. Thank you so much for Joshua for helping me to respond to Pablo. I'm in Nigeria, and I'm talking about Nigeria now. So you can imagine they now designed 5 levels of human need in a pyramid, and the first level is basic or physiological need. All right, basic need of physiological need. The basic needs, if you look at them, they now included examples like food, clothing, shelter, sex, and the rest of them. All right, I know saying that the sex will sweet some of you, but let's just talk about the basic needs. Let's take food for instance. Yes, those things were true as of then. All right, as of that century. But do you know that those things are fast becoming replaced by newer dimensions of need? For instance, when you wake up these days, the first thing you are thinking about is actually not food. Gone are those days when people will wake up and the first thing they are thinking about is breakfast. They want to make tea, they want to go and buy coffee, they want to buy this and that. But these days, people wake up and the first thing they are thinking about, they take their phone first of all. Alright, I was faulting a professor, and that's why I decided to make this topic. I said, Prof, have you reviewed all of these things before you start feeding us again in 2019? Some of them will vex, you understand. But it's just the truth. You pick your phone when you wake up in the morning. And if this is true, please, I just want us to validate it, or just say it is not true. Just dismiss it or validate it. Either of the two. You wake up in the morning, the first thing you pick up is your phone, yes or no. You check. If it is saying battery low, before you think food, you want to plug it, you want to charge it. The next thing, you want to go on social media to check information, or you want to make a call. Alright? So when you want to do that, you can now see that the need to communicate, information has replaced breakfast. When people wake up in the morning in Nigeria, the first thing they want to think about is communication and information. What is the latest? What is happening? They want to see social media. What is trending? So that means people will now invest more in information, first of all, as a matter of priority, before they even think about their breakfast. Before you think about food in the morning, you want to check what is going on Instagram. Those of you that are following your church, you want to see, what did the pastor say last night? Is there any information from him? What is the church saying? What is the morning devotion topic today? Those of you that are following, different comedians, you want to see, what is the latest about him? Those of you that are following politics, you want to see, what is the latest? Who is being nominated? And all of that. All of those things have changed. Some people don't even remember to eat until around 11 a.m. or 12 noon these days. So there's need, therefore, for us to review this curriculum, or to review these models that we use to describe human wants, for instance. And the same applies to every other field or aspect of models, theories, and everything that we use, or that we do, or that we compose, or that we develop, or that we model, or that we theorize, or assumptions we make. Everything has to change. So you just sit down and look at, okay, for instance, now, let me show you what that pyramid of need is. This is according to Abraham Maslow. You can see, let me zoom in for you people to see. If you look at it now, physiological needs is the first. Food, water, warmth, rest. In another country it may be different. Who told you that in Nigeria I'm looking for food first of all in the morning? And why are you giving this to me? Because this person who developed this thing developed it according to his own environment, what he saw, and how it applies to them. Alright, the next is safety needs, is safety needs. The next is the belongingness need. Do you know that some people don't even want safety before they want belongingness need? I'm telling you. All of those things, they have to change, and they vary from country to country. That's why every country has got to fund research to do things that apply to their own circumstance. Why am I getting education? Why am I paying to go to school? The reality is that in life, we get education so that in life situation we don't lack application. But of what use is what you are teaching me in school in 2019, for instance, that don't apply to my environment? Okay, for instance, you are teaching me something of 1814, the theory developed by somebody in 1840. Yes, we can make reference to it, but the question is, what is the contemporary relevance of that theory in today application? Okay, you are teaching me about something, you are teaching me some theories, and I'm looking at my environment, I can't relate to them. It will be boring. And that is why most of our youth are no longer interested in education or in academics. Everybody just wants to be rich. They don't want to make money. Most of those theories will also apply to workplace, because if you look at the second need, it's talking about the safety or security. It's talking about job security. Everybody wants to feel safe on their job. Who told you everybody wants a job? Douglas McGregor's theory X and Y also talks about people, the theory X worker, theory Y worker, theory X manager, theory Y manager, and I'll break it down. Theory X people are people who fall in the category of people that don't necessarily want to work. They are not motivated to work. What they want is just to come to work, sign attendance, stay till from 9 a.m. that they sign till 5 p.m. whatever you give them to do. They are not creative. They don't want to add any initiative to the work. They are not motivated. They just want to go. At the end of the month, they want to collect salary. So that means they are not really motivated about the work. Meaning that at the end of the day, most people even want to avoid the work and not even do it at all. So if it is possible for them to be getting that money at the end of the month without coming to work, they will avoid the work. So the theory of workplace model, or assumptions that people at workplace is applicable in social settings, is also not possible. So, but whereas we are applying those theories from workplace, we are extending them to other social settings and even applying them for those of you that work in church. The theories in church in theology is even different. For those ones, they don't even have salary, their rewards are in heaven. You know, so the only aspect or sectors in Nigeria that are working, for instance, start from church, for instance. You know, when it comes to church, theories work. You know, because Nigerians are gullible. But when we start talking about things that we should not need to start doing to improve other sectors of the economy, we don't get results. And the school is the first place. Why am I interested in school? I'm talking about professors. It's the place where most of the developmental theories or progress assumptions or models are supposed to be coming from. Recommendations about what we should do next as a country, politically, economically, are supposed to be coming from the schools. But the professors are, I don't want to say they are not doing anything. I don't want to use the word dunce or dumb, you know, to just be. Can you imagine, for instance, as an undergraduate at the university, you won't believe that one lecturer, is a doctor, not a professor, was teaching us about the neural system. Guess what he did? He brought his note of 1982 or 1970 something. The note, he brought it to say, come, I'm giving you original. Okay, fine, we want to appreciate it. Then brought it and asked another person in the class to draw that neural impulse, the process of neural impulse on the board for us. So the person now came on the board, draw neural impulse. The person is tracing it the same way the professor traced it in his own book in 1982. This is 2000 and as of then it was 2017. Excuse me, what are we doing? Are there no documentaries that show exactly everything that we are talking about? So most of those theories are not even telling us what is happening in the environment. The reason why academics was interesting to most of you then was because the evolution had not completed into the next phase of life. And so you could see most of the things they were telling you in your environment. But these days, most of the things they are teaching us, we can't see them in our environment. We can't relate them. I can't relate them. They don't reflect what is happening around me. And as a result, it becomes wrong because I'm left to be imagining what you are saying. I'm left to be casting my mind back to what I was not present at. Okay? So I have to fill in gaps that you are creating by trying to teach me what I did not witness. Okay, fine. I want to understand them and make reference to them. But how about now and going forward? How about now and future? If you go to University of Lagos, for instance, now, politics is supposed to be, Nigerian politics is supposed to be taking model from University of Lagos, Nsukka, Uni Abuja, you know, LASU, and the rest of them. But who is developing political theories for us? Theories of progress, theories of economic importance? Nobody. Those that are developing them to appraise the system and say that we are trying. Who told you? If somebody even makes effort to even come out and say, okay, this thing is faulted and is not working, they will pay another professor to counter him and say, no, we are doing well. Understand? Why are we like this? How do we progress that way? Okay, a university that does not even allow student unionism, how will that kind of a country allow young people to grow? You have universities that is abusing young people for not being ready for position of leadership. You don't even allow them to have student unionism. You prescribe unionism, okay? And that is where hypocrisy comes in. University of Lagos has prescribed student unionism. There's no student union at the University of Lagos as I speak right now. No student union. All right. They only have puppets installed as course rep, class rep, departmental leader, blah blah blah, to come and be submitting to them whatever they want and sending them to go and buy beans. That's what they do. Okay, they send the students leader to go and buy beans and come back and say, oh my boy, and it is whatever he wants that they give him. PhD holders today, they are not getting PhD because they developed impressive thesis. They are getting PhD because they are washing the cars. They are waking up very early in the morning to go and wash the car of their supervisors. the artistic supervisors, you go and wash his car every morning. That is how you get your PhD in Nigeria today. Is that not what praise is? For long, are we not supposed to thank God for that? Can you imagine? How do we progress? How do we move on from there? Okay, so a university, for instance, that does not even allow the students to have student unionism, and the professor will come on air to go and be criticizing the government for prescribing shite protesters. You are here, you are not condemning your own university for not allowing students to organize, to have student unionism. You will now go on channels TV, go on TVC, go on AIT, and be condemning federal government for prescribing shite protesters. It is not only hypocrisy, it is stupidity. We have problem, and this is rooted in DNA, and it starts from our professors, and that is why today is about the professors. I'm not happy about you people, and you should know. And I've never pretended about it. Most of them that know me know that I always tell it to their faces. This is not what you should be doing, people. You are not doing us. You are not leaving legacies for us at all. Okay, you are saying young people are not ready for leadership. They are not this, they are not that. Okay, fine, they are not ready. Why? You are not allowing them to even demonstrate leadership from campus. Somebody that has not been given the field or the ground to demonstrate the skills of leadership, you want him to just go and jump and become president or councillor or local government chairman somewhere. It doesn't happen now. Let them organize on campus. See, this world is about two things. There are always two categories of people in the society: the young and the old. Okay, the young people have sense of history. All right, this is where we are coming from. It's for reference purpose. Let us know the history. This is where you are coming from. Fine. We review it as young people and look at, okay, how do we forge further from here? The ideas you have are old. You cannot use it to progress. It's not possible. You can only make reference to these things. You can only make reference to these things. So we do not have, the platform for young people to demonstrate leadership on their campuses. And you are not abusing them and saying, look at your mate is local government chairman somewhere. That local government chairman you are making reference to did not go to school. Alright, he only followed the godfather, and that one said, you will be the person to step in after me, or equip his own child abroad and brought him back to come and continue in his company. Nigeria has become PLC, and professor will now sit there in the class, and the worst part of it, they are even bragging about the obsolete knowledge they have. They are proud of it too. When they are reciting all these theories, they are proud. They will brag like they are proud of what they know. What do you know? What you know is a matter of history. They are obsolete, they are archaic, they have decayed. We can only make reference to them. We can't use them to forge. We can only use them to forge if we make reference to them, but they are not really useful, in determining or modeling the future. They are not useful in modeling future. They are only a matter of reference for us. So if you don't allow students to organize under a union on campus, how do you therefore want them to have or acquire or groom or grow or develop leadership skills to proceed into society? Now saying you are not doing fine, you are not doing well, I'm not impressed. How will you be impressed? How will you be impressed? You are impressed about only people that are trending or that are making waves, that are going. The only people that you can be proud of as it is right now, those who are not abiding by what you taught them. People who are breaking outside of the box to do extra. If what you are teaching students on campus is what to go by, it is never enough. We cannot even have it. You can't even have it. So you go to school today. Me, I went to school all because so that it doesn't look like, oh, it's because he's mentally lazy. That's why he did not go to school. Can you imagine he did not go to school? Okay, fine. We have gone to the school and we have come out. You have seen that there's nothing inside it. It's empty. Schools are teaching empty things. There's nothing in what you are teaching on campuses today. You are teaching me 1814 theory of Karl Marx, 1417 theory of another person. You are teaching me John Locke. You are teaching, okay, fine, it's for reference purpose. But the question is, how far with your own review as a professor today, sir? What is the latest, what is the contemporary application of these things in Nigeria? Abraham Maslow did not develop this theory in Nigeria. He developed it to capture the circumstance in his own country at the time. Yes, it has a little bit of universal application because everybody has a common ground of needs, fine, in terms of food, clothing, shelter. But reality is that as we speak with today, it is no longer so, and the Nigerian circumstance or situation is also different. Most of those workplace applications, or most of those workplace motivational theory, workplace theory, stress management theory, all those things, they don't apply to me, to everybody, to Shade, to Tunde, to Zainab, to Ngozi in Nigeria today as we speak. You know why? Because there are even no jobs. We are not in a workplace setting. We are not in a workplace setting. So you have to start developing theories. We have to start developing theories that will encourage entrepreneurs. So it is entrepreneurial theories that matter more these days. You are still training. Most of these departments should have even shut down. You know why? Because what you are teaching are not things that are applicable in the social setting, in the real sense of it anymore. You are still teaching, you are still churning out graduates of industrial psychology, graduate of business management, graduate of workplace HR development every year. But where will they be employed? There are no jobs. You only train people to go and become HR personnel, because there are many organizations that are looking for HR developers. But where are the companies that will employ HR developers today as we speak? Where are the companies? Nigeria has no company. Most of the companies have shut down and gone to Ghana, South Africa, and the rest of them. So we should now reorientate the direction of our theory modeling, or theory creation or development, proposition and propounding, blah 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 blah, whatever terminologies you use in your academics. You know. So if you are churning out graduates of HR, graduates of business management, where are the businesses? Where are the businesses? Is it the business of Yalata in Bariga, or the business of Taylor that only has one small shop? You have to start developing theories of entrepreneurial growth, entrepreneurial development in Nigeria, or develop theory for Ruga, God bless you, Bamjoshi. The theory of Ruga management is very funny. You have to look at the environment and look at and listen to the pulse. Just feel the pulse of the environment and okay, this is what we need right now, and this is what we should develop, and this is what we should do about it. Then you now start looking at theories to create around it. Not theories of, if you are all those theories that you were teaching always have to do with assuming that you are in a workplace. You are assuming, they are always assuming that you are in a workplace setting. But where are the works? Where are the jobs? There are no jobs. There are no jobs. Let me take a few comments and then we round it off. You know, but let us start talking to ourselves. We are not doing anything for these schools. All these schools that we have in this country, they are nothing. They are just buildings, walls. Nothing is there. Just, you know, they are just printing certificate every 4 years or every year for every session of people who are graduating after every 4 years. There's nothing in them. Bless me, Lord. Okay, please, we are rounding off already, and you can always play back. Okay, but we are in summary, we are simply talking about the nothingness of our education system today. They are not producing anything for us. They are teaching us what is obsolete and not applicable. You know, because I said in Nigeria, no, universally, the essence of education is that we get education. I want to use it in a phrase that we get education so that in life situation we don't lack application. Abi, but how applicable are those theories they are teaching us from 1814 in Nigeria today? All right. So, for instance, we have okay. Bless me, Lord says Buhari only care about cars. Okay, fine. If Buhari cares about cars, then about cows, then our schools should start developing theories about the management of cows and management of conflicts and business progress in that direction too. Who and who would that business be suitable for? Let us start discussing in that direction instead of discussing assumption that you are working in an HR firm. Excuse me, how many of them are in Nigeria? And University of Lagos is producing thousands of them every year, hundreds of them every year. Nsoka is producing, LASU is producing, Unijust is producing. How many universities in Nigeria and polytechnics producing students of business administration? And where are the businesses you want to go and manage? All right. Bamjoshi say, oh, they be employed as social media words for Atiku and Buhari, Tinubu. Atiku, Buhari, and Tinubu. Okay, fine. But you know what? Even if that is it, you can come up with theories about social media management. Okay, come up with theories. If these days is about data, and social media interaction. There can be theories in that direction. You know, you have to look around you and determine what is obtainable. Don't just come and be feeding us with crap. And that is why you look around you everywhere in Nigeria, it's boring. Academics is boring because what you are teaching, they don't have, you know, applicability. The same way even for our law. You won't believe that we are still applying laws of Lord Atkinson in 17 something. How do they apply to Nigerian situation? People want to do tattoo and dread in 2019. Theories of a law of contracts. The nature of contract today is different. In fact, people marry today as a matter of contract. The contract that you know is no longer the contract as of before. All right, people adopt fathers as a matter of contract. People do things, homosexuality as a matter of contract. Do you understand it? You have to look at the environment and determine what is the need before you can start creating theories around them. But there are not theories in Nigeria. A professor will go and do thesis and will be applying the theory developed in Holland, developed in Netherlands to their own situation. You want to come and apply it here in Nigeria. Yes, you have to adapt it and it will still work to a little extent, but it will not capture Nigeria because our circumstances are different. Plenty what I committed to reevaluate the competence for professorship. See, there's no committee anywhere. The committees that they create are committees to even stay pamper them. Look at the Senate screening. Did you see the drama at the Senate screening? If you saw the drama at the Senate screening, you will understand it. There's no committee anywhere in Nigeria doing anything that is supposed to be the work of a committee. The jobs are actually, sir. Anything. Let me still borrow both for you, sir. Those are the jobs we are seeing in Nigeria today. Let me get girls for you, sir. Let me twerk for you, sir. Those are jobs. So you guys have to come up with new theories in this direction. All right. But I'm not thinking, you know, in fact for you, sir. All those let me twerk for you, sir. All those social media jobs, let me arrange girls for you, sir. Let me still snatch ballot box for you, sir. All those jobs are because people have been frustrated. There are no real jobs anymore. That's why they are like that. University manager also a product of the retrogressive society. Government doesn't nothing to all the innovation and inventions of students, so no one cares anymore. Even the foreign theories wasn't designed with Nigeria in mind. Nigeria does not exist in the mind of people who develop those theories that Nigerian professors are applying today. You are a professor, what are you professing? You are supposed to look at your own environment and develop theories. And when those of us talk, they will say, what do you know? Okay, fine. You know historical theories, but they are not applicable in contemporary times. How about that? Pablo's Kitchen. What do you have to say about child protests and injustice going on in Nigeria? I know this question is out of date to this topic, but let's hear us. What do you have to say? Well, I'll respond to that as I close. The reality is that there are two angles I have to it. Number one is that protest is protest regardless of what they are protesting about. They are protesting injustice, the continued detention of their leader. I'm a secular person, I'm not a religious person, but as far as I'm concerned, court has already ruled that I should release the man. So release him on bail. If you want to try him properly. Let the court properly sentence him to imprisonment. Not that you continue to hold somebody against court rule. Alright, citing religious or whatever reason. I see my interest that he's a shite and Buhari is supporting the other sect of Islam. The second angle I have to it is that, see, let us not be too religious about things. Alright, the reason why people seek solace in religion today in Nigeria is because the secular country is not working. So many people go to church to pray, alright, looking for a miracle because the country is not working. The same reason many people go to mosque, alright. If I'm doing fine, for instance, I don't want to go and kill myself under the pretext or understanding or deception that there are angels waiting for me in heaven. No, because my brain will work well if I'm well fed. It is people who are not well fed that grew up as Almajiri and are recruited or conscripted into, religious armies to go and be dying needlessly. Do you understand it? It's because the country is not working. So let Nigeria continue to work as a secular state. Nobody will even cherish religion anymore. And now they are going to turn Nigeria into a battlefield. the Shia and the Sunni, there will be a problem. All right, and they will now want to consume everybody. So what I want to advise everybody is be battle ready. Let us all be battle ready, because it is either the Shiite versus Boko Haram problem will engulf Nigeria, or political problem will engulf Nigeria, or religious crisis will engulf anything. All of those pockets of crisis are going to have a midpoint at some day, and Nigeria is going to be a problem. So for me, if Nigeria worked well as a secular state, we will not have problems of people seeking solace in religion and even becoming victims under the name of religion. Pastors raping them, collecting offering from them, tithe and offering, 10% of all your earnings. If you don't do it, you die, or they will open the windows, close the windows of heaven against you if you don't pay 10% of your earning, or will unleash devourers. Using some scaring parts of the scripture it's called scare tactics, so that people will continue to give you money. And the prophet, did you see the video that was shared on social media yesterday of a prophet that was arrested arranging fake miracles? Because they need to continue to oil that business, that fake business that they are doing. Let Nigeria work well as a secular state. We will not have all these problems again, and that is where I stand. All right. Some people say Nigerians, okay, solutions say they can fight in the north south. Who told you? They have already started protesting in Lagos. Are you aware? Just Google it. Shiite protest in Lagos. They are grouping already, if you don't know. All right. Someone P. Nelson. Nigeria is not a secular state anymore. Since 1999, OBJ signed Sharia law into our constitution. Solutions. Okay, fair. Let me quickly respond to that. You see, every region has their own applicable tradition, and from their traditions, they are called applied traditional laws. All right. The Sharia laws may not apply in your own region. It will only apply to people who apply, and that's why there are Sharia justices. All right, for people that want to apply Sharia laws in their own matters, peculiar matters. All right, it's just to recognize everybody. There should also be laws recognizing the right of people who want to go and do traditional things. All right, if you read, I think, let me cite a few cases that I've been aware of way back while I was in the classroom studying introduction to law. I think it was Moribund versus Sadiku Ejo. All right, there were a few cases like that. There was Idigi versus Ori Ojori. There are traditional aspects of law, cultural matters that are also adopted into the secular law, just to recognize and to accommodate people who have their own regional issues or their own regional laws. The way they marry, for instance, in the East may be different from the way they marry in the South. So those customary laws are adopted into the constitution. I don't have any problem with those ones. But what I'm simply saying is that at the end of the day, let us all know what we are doing. Nigeria is a secular state. Let us not be encouraging, let us make the secular. If the secular state works, that is where I stand. If the secular state works, people will not resort to looking for miracles in religions and becoming religious victims too. That is what I'm simply trying to say in summary. Bamjoshi says, in Israel and Pakistan, are there citizens of this country? Are there citizens of this country that will fight for African religions like Ogun, Shango, Eshu, Oya? That's another topic altogether. That's why I said if the Nigerian state is working as a secular state, people will not need to resort to religion, for succor. And it is in the process of looking for religious succor that they fall into the hands of, oh, this one raped me, that one victimized me, this one defrauded me, and all of those things. We'll stop having those problems. And it is at this point I want to say, are there Chinese, Shiites and Sunnis? That's it, you see what we are saying, because Chinese is working and those countries are working. And I sign off on this point after I read some on Nelson's, because the comments will keep coming. We may not round up this show in time, but we are Christian Nigerian, but you can't function in those 12 states. We should go back to regionalization. Exactly, I agree with that one too. All right, so that everybody can practice what they like in their own region. Now I want to round up by saying that, are you aware that 5G phones have been launched in China? But the question you should ask yourself is, how did they achieve that? Oh, by going to MFM, by going to the mountain to go and pray, by going to redemption camp, by going to Koza. Sorry,